Do you ever have times where you feel like alone on the planet, even though you're surrounded by amazing friends and family? If you're anything like me, you've had many of those moments in your life. And then it's these moments that remind me, for sure, the universe sees me. So last night, I went out on a date. This particular person was someone I actually had gone out with about 10 years ago, but I didn't recognize him in his photos or from what he wrote in his narrative. And literally within probably 5-10 minutes of talking about the basic details, which I've gotten really good at, where you live, what you're doing, what kind of work you do, all those questions, I get reminded from what he starts saying, oh, I've already met you like 8, 9, 10 years ago. He actually didn't remember who I was and didn't remember meeting me. But we ended up having a fantastic conversation. Now, in my old life, I would have missed out on this experience completely. Instead, in my new life now, I went on a great date. He paid, which is always nice. I offered, but he paid. And had a great conversation, got reconnected to someone from my past, and at the time had made certain decisions about him for certain reasons, i.e. forever, and he made certain decisions about me, which in short was that he had wanted kids and he wanted somebody who was a certain age so that they would for sure be able to have kids and have a family, which led us to both conclude, like, no, not even worth getting together to get to know each other, potentially as good friends, missing out on even that opportunity because of all of the judgments and all of the pre-decisions that our lives had trained and conditioned us to make. And so we didn't even get to have the opportunity for a conversation, let alone a friendship, that we could have had for the last 8 years. So in my new life now, I got to go have a great conversation, reconnect with someone from my past, correct my judgments and my beliefs that I was holding on to from that time period, and have what I call an adjusted experience with someone now in the present, to be able to talk that kind of thing through and resolve those things and literally like let go of them from your energy. Because our mind and our body holds on to those experiences and stacks them on top of each other, which is also the best way I describe it is our shame and our pile of reasons and evidence of not being good enough, and all of the many ways in which we judge ourselves at not being good enough. This one being like not good enough at finding love. No, actually, in fact, I'm fantastic at finding love. I find it everywhere. Now, in my life now. In my life before, I completely missed out on this person. So the shift there was, I have to change the expectations, the beliefs, the values, this life that I was given, this way to believe and think. I had to change and sort through all of these thoughts and beliefs so that I could actually enjoy the life that I had created for myself. Now, once I started changing those thoughts and beliefs, my life started to actually change dramatically. The key part for me, the takeaway, was that I had to change my mindset and sort through all of these beliefs that I had carried with me and the way that it's supposed to get done, the way that I'm supposed to do relationships with people, with my job, with my house. I had to sort through all of that and be able to let it go and find a new set of beliefs and then condition my mind, condition the heck out of my mind to be able to get to this space. Big picture, to have the awareness now of being able to appreciate what's right in front of me and having the perspective that fits for the life that I actually want to be living. Most people have a perspective on life and use that perspective in their day-to-day decision making that truly doesn't serve them. They learned it way back when, they took it at face value, and they started applying it to their life. And then they find themselves years into life and they're fucking miserable. Now, most people don't know they're miserable because they're too scared or too, afraid to admit that they're miserable, because that sucks hardcore to have to admit the reality of what's going on in your life. The biggest takeaway for you is that we have to have, when you want to really enjoy your life, you have to have your heart and your mind lined up. What happens with most people is they have one set of beliefs, right? Their mind as one part, and then they have their heart and the life that they really want to be living and the person that they really want to be over here. And they're two distinct things. The shift happens, your life gets enormously better when you bring those two together to be able to be lined up. And when you bring them together and they're lined up, this type of story, it happens 3 or 4 times a week. That when your heart and your mind are lined up, the world, the universe sees you, God sees you, and your life unfolds the way that you are secretly hoping that it would unfold. So it takes, the work happens in shifting of the mindset and the perspective into a place where you are your genuine, true, authentic self, who's able to make decisions from that place, who's able to take action, and who's able to be transparent and talk about what's actually going on inside of your mind with the other people that you're engaging in relationship with.